everybody, my name is Analyticalplum and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be something I have not done in quite a bit of time, which shame on me for those of you who stuck around for those types of videos. I am very sorry. It has been quite a busy couple of months with Star Wars and Heartbreak High and all of the trailers that have been released. So the topic I want to delve into today revolves around rage baiting. If you're not quite sure what rage baiting is, it's essentially content creators who purposefully go out of their way to make their audience angry, rageful, which then leads to more interaction. So there's someone pronouncing like a word in a really wrong way that grinds everyone's gears, then you're going to want to comment and be like, no, that's not how you say it, or people are going to say you said that wrong, that's a bit silly, yada yada yada. There's going to be a lot of interaction. Influencers especially do it on purpose to generate the likes, the comments, the interactions, generates lots of clicks, which gets them more money. It has been happening more and more frequently, I've noticed, on TikTok especially. That's why we're gonna react to TikTok videos. The most common one I've seen lately is the trend of the traditional wife coming back around. I won't speak too much on it now, we'll delve back into that later on. So we are going to be reacting to a few of these rage baity videos because I'm just going to give them what they want, but also hopefully it provides a bit of entertainment for you. But before we begin, I would love if you would consider subscribing. I do post twice a week, but don't hold me to that. And if you do love my reactions and these TikTok reaction videos, I would love if you would leave a like. It helps me out a ton. And without further ado, let's dive into reacting to these rage bait videos. Now, the first video I want to start off with, I'm not completely sure if it is rage bait. It's been quite a big, massive debate online as to whether this is genuine. There is a possibility it could be genuine. People are very unsure. I think I myself am unsure about this couple, so I think we'll watch it together and we'll decide from there if it, you know, if it could be an actual thing.
What are we finally having this year?
When I've seen other creators talk about this couple, they do go like below the belt and they talk about, you know, the age difference. Well, that's not below the belt, but why I'm bringing up the age difference is because they usually talk about the appearance of the lady, which, I mean, she does look quite significantly older than the man in the video, and I've seen them on and off pop up through my TikTok, and this has been quite a big thing. They've been kind of teasing on and off, so that's what kind of makes it a bit rage baity, because it's one of their leading content like hitting points, which they know gets like attraction and clicks, and they've been, like, as I said, teasing on and off about starting a family together. You know, considering the age gap between them, I think I read up that she's past the age of menopause, so biologically it's not possible. Apparently they've got a surrogate. I'm not sure how real this is or not, but it does generate a lot of buzz because of how massive the age gap allegedly is supposed to be. I mean, I don't really like to judge people, especially online, and even more if I don't know them. So I don't know, I'm a bit hesitant on this one. I think anything above a 20-year age gap is wrong or just weird. I mean, I find the relationship with Aaron Taylor Johnson and his partner very disturbing. We won't even talk about what's going on in that situation, but I don't know. What do you think? Would you consider this a part of the rage bait? I'm not sure. So next up in our line of rage bait, I could not do this video without mentioning JoJo Siwa. She has been doing the utmost the past couple of months. I was planning on doing a whole video dedicated to JoJo, but then I don't know, I just felt that that was a bit I wasn't sure about that, and I did have quite a lot of videos and content already planned, so I thought I'll just include a few little TikToks that I've had saved during this period, and I thought it's quite funny. I mean, it adds to the rage bait because she released a song called, I think it's Karma, I believe so, but there's a whole massive drama on that, and the lyrics and the moves they're not the most artistic, so bearing that in mind, let's watch these TikToks I've had saved.
She looks like the gay diversity hire that Vought would get to join the Seven after Homelander made some like homophobic comment or some shit. They'd name her like Carpet Puncher or something, and she'd die in the first like 5 seconds of an episode.
But is she wrong? No, the one thing that I have been seeing everywhere is that dance move. I would try it properly, but I think that would be the most embarrassing thing I've ever put on the internet. So you're just gonna have to deal with that for now. That's gonna be my attempt. If you didn't know, I grew up as a dancer. I've danced for 20 years, right? So I know a little bit about dance, just a smidge. But even I don't know what's going on with those movements. It's kind of like, that's the visualization I'd picture when somebody says they've got ants going all over them, under their shirt and stuff. Or, you know, let's give a shout out to Phineas and Ferb with Candace, squirrels in her pants. That's the type of moves that Candace was doing. This content creator was right, because this is definitely something that boys would do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if South Park would come out with an episode with a similar topic. Following along, I also have one more JoJo Siwa specific video, and I think you'll like it, as long as you're not scared of penguins.
Ew, good morning to every single Steven who's after this entire little bit. What else going today, guys? Good. I am so...
I could not tell you one single word that she said throughout all of that. If this is rude, right, just completely ignore me, but JoJo Siwa just reminds me of a chihuahua in the really weirdest of ways. But not like a well-behaved chihuahua, but like, you know, like the Hollywood stereotypical chihuahua where there's just like non-stop barking. That's just what JoJo Siwa is. So I've got 3 more TikToks I want to show you, but they're all kind of under the same similar umbrella, which is going to be about food. I know, how can you rage bait about food and cooking and looking at food? But you can. And I'm going to be showing you how today. So this TikTok in particular is, I assume that they're American and making fun of British food. I mean, I know that they're like, I make a few jokes about Americans here and there. It's all in good fun, you know, and I assume this is in good fun. I mean, even I, like looking at that, I don't think that looks nice. But the rage bait in this is the fact that I think they know that they picked the worst pictures, or at least they know that the discourse of American versus, it's stereotypically English people, but we'll say American versus UK. That's a massive topic that causes arguments, and especially around food. For some reason, I don't really know why, there's a whole stereotype of British, specifically English people not seasoning their food. I mean, I can't really say much. Mushy peas, some people like. My partner really loves mushy peas, but I have sensory issues, so mushy peas for me is like the devil's feces. But I'm just saying, If you have not had beans on toast, seriously try it. Don't bash it. Honestly though, these types of videos are just boring me in a way, because it's kind of the same arguments, the same discourse over and over again. So this doesn't quite enrage me as I think this creator would like. I mean, but obviously it has with other, I assume, English people, because it's done really well in terms of clicks and interaction. So, I mean, a fair play to you. I don't think that's gonna do anything for you, love. You don't need more salt. No, put it down. I think she's planning on killing off her husband with how much salt she's put in that. Oh my god. If you didn't know, right, everyone assumes that this creator is American for some reason, but they're actually English, because you can see in the background of their videos that they have things from like Asda's and Morrison's, which are typically, you know, not American. So yeah. I mean, coming from the past video where I said about seasoning, I didn't mean that salt was the only seasoning. I promise English people use seasoning other than salt. This didn't help my case, did it? Maybe I shouldn't have included this. No, but seriously, did they just plate up oil and salt with a little bit of side of spaghetti? So the way this is a rage bait, I assume you can tell how like wasteful and just very, very unhealthy that is the fact that this is obviously not real. This is not a real circumstance, or not a real meal, because everything is frozen in small portions. So what I'd assume is that these are leftovers, or when you see the creator opening the packets, they tend to be the cheap freezer stuff from, as I said, Morrison's or Asda's. So they did a kebab meal I've seen before, and it's one of those ones where you can pick up for like £1, like really cheap ones. So it's either leftovers or the really, really cheap freezer stuff, or probably from the reduced section. So reacting to this now, even I'm just like, as you saw, it's just why? But this creator has honestly got so much views just because of that, just because they've mixed quite a few bits of leftovers, poured in half a kilo of salt and called it a day, and that really enrages people. I think their husband's gonna need to have like a defibrillator on hand if they actually do eat that. I'm gonna give you a bit of context before I react to this next TikTok, because it just makes a bit more sense. So as I mentioned earlier in my intro, there's been this trend about the trad wife. I believed it stemmed from, I think her name is Nara Smith, who creates meals from scratch, like complete scratch, for her children and for her husband. It's kind of gone viral, and loads of other content creators are kind of taking inspiration and copying this lifestyle. Or, as I said, it's all just a ploy, because as we know, internet and influencers are usually faking things for views, which I think kind of is in this case. I think she's playing on this. But as I said, other content creators are rapid firing, copying this type of home cooking, doing things from scratch, and this is what this content creator has done. But there's something unique about how they have done this.
This morning, my toddlers really wanted to color, but we were all out of paper, so I decided to make my own. I ripped up this old egg carton and put it in a jar with some water and let that soak until it was completely saturated. I added it to my food processor and processed it until it was a nice mushy pulp before I added it to a separate bin with some water. Next, I dipped my mold and decal into the pulp and got a nice thin layer of it on the screen before transferring it to this little sheet. Then I laid all my soon-to-be pieces of paper out in the sun to dry. I can't wait to see what they fill these books with.
You know when they say you got to stick your neck out for people? I think she took it literally. So if you couldn't tell, this creator is portraying this princess like home cooking, baking things from scratch kind of persona. I know that this is a persona because I scrolled back through her channel when she was not dressed up in a dress, you know, with her hair completely done. When she was just doing kind of home relatable content, she would get roughly 5k. She'd have one pop off that's like 52k, but typically it will be on average around 3k views on her TikToks. But as soon as she started doing this like princess like movement and stretching out her neck like she wants to get bit by a vampire, that's when the rage bait started trickling in and she started getting more views. So this is how her views looked like originally, as you just saw, and these are what her views are looking like now. As you can see, they look completely different. It goes up to 8 million, 3 million, 6 million, all just because of how she's cooking. Point that everyone really rages about in these videos is just how she like sticks her neck out and how she acts kind of like a fairy in a way, and people are just like, why? So those are all of the TikToks I wanted to show you, but I have one more that I wanted to show you, not related to rage bait at all, but just because I saw it and thought that it was really funny and I wanted to share it with you all.
Humans can only hold their breath for 10 minutes, then how was Louis Armstrong able to become the first man on the moon?
I am in space on the moon. Help!
I don't know why I love that video. So that was all of the TikToks that I wanted to show you. I got a range of different rage bait videos from, you know, the whole American versus England discourse to cooking paper from scratch with your neck sticking out, all the way to having salt for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Oh, and also JoJo Siwa. At the moment she's one of the biggest rage baiters and she knew what she was doing. Yeah, so just to conclude with the rage bait, influencers and content creators just tend to do things on purpose. They know what they're doing is like wrong, so they know, like with the cooking videos, they know that nobody needs that amount of salt. Or with, you know, with cooking like you're about to go to a ball, nobody really does these things. Well, I know a few people do, but it's not really common. And this type of rage bait is how they're making their money. They will do certain things or say certain things wrong, as I said before, on purpose, so that it encourages you to comment, it encourages you to like things and spread things. And now I'm making YouTube content about it, so it's gone from TikTok to YouTube and probably elsewhere, probably also Instagram, and it's spread, and all this does is spread the word about them, probably make other people enraged by their content, and then they'll go to their account, and it's kind of like a cycle, but it works. I mean, they've made careers out of it. Just before I end this video, I just wanted to say that this was all in good fun. Obviously some may be real, some may be complete rage bait, but this was all just meant to be for entertainment purposes, and I do not want to send a hate to any of these creators. I kind of applaud them for making their bank. So that will be it from me today. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I'm glad to be doing these types of videos again, and I will catch you all in the next one.